you love self-storage. Come join us.
I love self-storage.
Yeah.
It's just become a part of my life. It really has. More than a career, because most of my good friends have come from self-storage. It's been such a blessing.
Yeah.
Not just a career blessing, but a blessing in life as well.
I love self-storage because of the people and the energy that they bring. I don't think I've ever seen an industry that's just this passionate about what they do, and there's always just something fun and exciting going on.
I'm so grateful. The community, the ISS, the SSA, all the associations have been, amazing. The friendships, and I have the privilege of again traveling to a lot of the state shows and the national shows. And again, it's just the community here is great, such as yourself, and this SBOA team has been amazing since they've come on the scene. I see a lot of amazing people doing amazing things, and it really inspires me to keep going.
To me, it's the people and the vendors and everything around. A lot of competitors, a lot of different solutions, things are growing in the industry, but everybody is here to help each other.
Yeah.
But what I like the most is, I think, the innovation. It's amazing. I love the innovation, and I really like the people.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
I love the people in this business.
Yeah.
There are so many good-hearted, true blue, nice people here.
Yeah.
The other people here who do what we do are our friends.
Yeah.
I love the fact that people need stuff, and the more stuff that they need, the more they need to store it.
Right.
And when people are storing their stuff, they need a hug.
Yeah.
They need love.
They do.
We help people through a transitioning time and provide a service directly to their door while enriching storage professionals with additional revenue.
What I love about self-storage is that you're always meeting new people.
Always.
I love to just have a conversation with people, hear their stories, hear about what they do, because there's so many different things in the self-storage industry that you can be into, whether it be software development, tenant and commercial insurance like what we do. There's a lot of different colors and mixes in the industry, so that's what I would love about it. And also the conferences have some great venues too. So that's always a good perk, right?
My favorite thing about self-storage would have to be the opportunity to work with powerful and supportive women like yourself and Iris and the rest of the entire industry as a whole. I think a theme for women in the industry is women empowering women. Very much comes across, whether you're a competitor or not even in the same technology or magazines or anything in the space. Everyone supports each other and is willing to help each other and provide feedback and resources. And that is huge in this space.
And probably the thing I love most about the industry is the people. You meet people from all over the country, all the vendors at these shows, your partners. They all have an interest in helping your business succeed and making the industry move forward. And everybody's kind of working towards the same goal. So that's been the best part.
In a world where brand experience is paramount, upholding your company's standards demands unwavering consistency in every location. At the SBOA, we understand the critical role consistency plays in driving your business's success. That is why we joined forces with MSI to introduce a revolutionary internal audit program tailored to meet the specific needs of your organization. Our game-changing audit program leverages cutting-edge technology and expert insight to bring you unparalleled accuracy and reliability. We know that success in this competitive environment is paved with adherence to operational requirements, and every company has its own standards along with state and local regulations to adhere to. So we've made our internal audit system completely customizable, all in a user-friendly app. The app enables on-site agents to collect real-time data and insights from their respective locations. This feature ensures that information is up to date and allows for quick responses to any issues or challenges that could arise. Our internal audit program also has advanced photo and video reporting capabilities. These visual reporting tools allow leadership to visualize non-compliant sites and gain a comprehensive understanding of the issues, with specific examples for clear context, which enhances communication and leads to faster resolutions. And it can be done with just a few clicks and the snap of a photo or quick video. And our program provides an in-depth understanding of each store's performance and challenges. This feature allows for a comprehensive assessment of how well each location adheres to operational requirements and brand standards, helping to identify areas for improvement. Are you ready to take your self-storage business to the next level? Explore our comprehensive suite of services, including internal audit programs, mystery shopping, and unlock your full potential. Contact us today to embark on a journey of excellence and success. 248-254-9000.
Are you a self-storage owner or operator looking for service providers to help at your facility? Well, the Storage Business Owners Alliance, also known as the SBOA, has you covered. The SBOA is a premier online hub for connecting self-storage owners and operators to industry-leading products and service providers. We provide one-stop shopping for your business with exclusive offers to save time and money. At the SBOA, we believe by coming together, we help owners and operators grow revenue, gain purchasing power, reduce expenses, improve efficiencies, and increase profitability. We also offer many resources such as our conferences and Self-Storage Unlock webinars to help self-storage owners and operators gain the knowledge needed to become more competitive in the industry. To become an SBOA member or to find out more information, please visit www.thesboa.com today. We can't wait for you to join the Alliance.
The smart experience isn't just for your home. It belongs in your self-storage facility too. Today's tenants expect more than gates and cameras. They want real peace of mind, and so do you while growing your business. That's where StorageDefender comes in. As the pioneer and leader in smart units as a service, StorageDefender delivers 24/7 peace of mind with real-time text-based alerts. No apps or logins required. It's a simple solution that helps tenants feel secure and gives operators a new recurring revenue stream. With StorageDefender Smart Units, you can increase revenue by 10 to 20% per unit, attract 78% of tenants who look for smart monitoring in their next rentals. And across the U.S., 6 out of 10 tenants are opting in for smart unit monitoring. Don't just take it from us. Chris Z, a tenant from Campbellsville, Kentucky, says, "I have rented multiple storage units in different states, and this is the first time I've ever had a motion detector inside the unit. I think it's a great idea and definitely recommend it to anyone storing items. Setup is fast and hassle-free. Just place the magnetic-based smart device inside any unit. No hardwiring required. Manage everything from our intuitive dashboard, and when motion is detected, your tenant is instantly notified. It's smart, reliable visibility inside the unit where it matters most. When tenants feel protected and informed, they stay longer, speak highly of your business, and are more likely to rent again. Give your tenants what they value and gain more in return. Schedule a demo today and find peace of mind that profits."
Well, hello everyone out there in self-storage land, and welcome to another Self-Storage Unlocked. I'm Iris Cieri, president of the Storage Business Owners Alliance, better known as the SBOA. And I'm so glad you could join us today for optimizing your 2026 budget for maximum profitability. That's a mouthful. Planning ahead isn't just about numbers, it's about creating a strategy that drives both operational efficiency and revenue growth. And today we're going to go beyond the basics with actionable tips for managing capital expenditures, controlling operational costs, and prioritizing investments that deliver the highest ROI. But before we dive in, I just have a couple of housekeeping notes. Please use the comments, ask your questions live. We do our best to get to all of them. I see many people have gotten started in the comments already. We have a special incentive for you since we're going to have polls throughout the day, or just the next hour, not the whole day. But if you answer the polls, you ask those questions live, we're going to have a little gift card prize at the very end. Michaela's going to come on and announce the winner. So please be sure to interact with us, get those questions answered by the experts while they're here. Now, I am thrilled to introduce my guest host today, Mark Cieri. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Iris, how are you doing?
I am great. It's sunny and beautiful here in Michigan today. Fall is my favorite time of year. And I'm so happy to have you here with your guests because you have put together a great lineup. Tell us about it.
We do have a great one. Just a funny aside, when I heard you when you were doing the profit, I felt like you were trying to say Peter Piper pecked a pickle peppers.
That is how I felt.
I was going to see if I could do that. Anyways, yeah, we got a great group today. Thank you, Iris, for SBOA helping to put this together. We really appreciate your support and how you continue to pour into the community, especially you, the mom and pops out there, right? The smaller operators who are really looking to benefit from tips of, say, some of the bigger operators. And so we have some different size operators today. We have a large operator, we have a mid and a smaller operator, but a fast growing operator. We also have some of the people that are experts on operations, but also on the marketing side. So we got a bit of a 360-degree view, and we're going to look at budget planning for next year, but also taking a look at kind of how we got here this year and with a little bit of pulse of what the market looks like next year and how these three operators are actually grappling with that. So I think it's going to be very practical, and I look forward to getting started.
Well, awesome. I'm going to take off and I'm going to let you get started with your first guest.
All right, let's bring in Roby Pait. Hey, Roby.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Roby Pait. I'm the Vice President of Operations with First Storage at Volta Global. It's a real estate development company that operates a brand called First Storage. My previous experience was at Storage Asset Management, a lot larger of an operator there. We're currently at about 9 facilities and still growing, looking to be at about 15 to 20 by the end of the year. So excited to be a part of the webinar with everyone this morning.
Thanks, Robbie. And you guys spare no expense on your tech. You guys build a lot of Class A facilities, and you do make a lot of investments in different tech, right?
Yeah, we're always trying to look at new tech that's on the market and take a more innovative approach, and find new things that can make our customers' experience better, frictionless, and make our managers' jobs more efficient.
Yep. So we're going to be interested to hear your insights. Let's bring in Vanessa from Devon Self-Storage.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Doing good. Come on, let's bring your A game. What do you got?
Thanks for having me today. So Vanessa Rovekamp, Director of Marketing at Devon Self-Storage. We're at 205 locations today with our goal to get to 500 in the next 2 years if possible, but definitely by 3. So just super excited to be here and share any insights or experiences about optimizing our budget to gain revenue.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the prep on this. Your insights on the marketing side and in a very practical way were extremely interesting. Folks, tune in. Vanessa's going to be bringing you some awesome insights. By the way, Robbie, you should try to bring in your company's background. I'm noticing a theme of red, white, and blue. Come on. All right, let's bring in 2 very patriotic companies, by the way. Let's go to Attic Management. Bring in Rick Pixler.
Good morning, guys. Mark, great to see you. Robbie, Vanessa, pleasure to join with you guys. Prepping for this was a blast. My name is Rick Pixler. Attic Storage got started in the early 80s. We've grown to 26 facilities and should be to 30 by the end of next year. We are in Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma.
Yep. And Rick, you might not have the primary blue, but you also got blue in your logo too.
We do. We do. We're
All right.
representing. Veteran owned. What can we say?
We'll have to work on that logo.
Same here.
All right. Well, guys, let's get into it. If we could bring up the slides, please. Yep. So there's our guests, panelists. What we're going to cover today is the profit-centric budgeting, why it matters. We're going to talk a little bit about a framework, obviously from your perspectives. We're going to get into some of the technology and high return on investments that you guys are considering. Implications as you're making those investment decisions and budgeting decisions on operations. We're going to lean heavily on Vanessa, especially. She'll kind of pepper that in throughout, but we're going to definitely do a call out on the marketing area because that's where a lot of dollars are going. Like, we're not just in the business of selling smart units or self-storage units, right? We got to market them, right? We got to become marketing companies in this day and age, right? There's less demand. So we're going to see how she talks about that. And then there's some non-negotiables, right? But you got to stay to the end, right? Because at the end, they're going to really tailor it down to you. They're going to share what they're doing, but at the end, we're going to funnel that down to you, the small owner and the operator. So stick around to the end. We're really focused. We're going to bring you some A tips at the end. So having said that, let's go to the next chart. All right. Why profit-centric budgeting, right? I don't think this is new information to many of you, but if you compare some years back, like, we could just keep lifting the rates up, right? You know, it was the heyday of self-storage, but now demand is tighter, right? Rates are constantly under threat. In some of your markets, I know you're facing it. You might be in saturated markets. Your profit is being pushed. Why? Because things like increasing labor rates, high expense for insurance, you know, your property insurance, labor rates, as I mentioned, that's really pushing down your profit per unit. And there's a bit of less demand in some places. Tenants also have security concerns, shifting user preferences. For example, if any of you saw the demand study that was just completed in 2 years, we normally do it in 3, the Self-Storage Administration's SSA's demand study. The youngest generation right now that's renting, Gen Z, they're visiting more, and they value and they will pay for a better experience and better features, which is a little bit surprising, right? Some thought they would rent less, rent smaller. That's not necessarily the case, but they're tuned into the experience and the features. With that said, there's a lot of topics, if we go to the next slide, that you are now thinking. You're thinking admin fees. You're thinking rental. Obviously, that's the big one. Retail sales. How do I make money with different features? And I got salaries. All of this is in your mind as you're thinking and prepping for next year while still in the heat of finishing this year. So with that, let's talk about some of the questions that we have. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, Robbie, I want to start with you, but what are some of those essential items that you include? I mean, obviously you have the whole budget that you're doing, but what are those key areas that have more sensitivity as you're looking at your 2026 budget?
Yeah, so I like to look at budgets through 2 lenses. You got foundation items, and then you got growth items, growth engine items, if you will. So the foundation items includes everything that keeps the business stable. Those are the things you can't forget about or aren't going to forget about to budget for. Property taxes, insurance, payroll, benefits, utilities, routine maintenance. Those are kind of your non-negotiables. And if you miss those items, then you're going to miss your budget pretty large in the next coming years. So the real differentiators are in the growth engine categories. Those are your categories like technology, marketing, asset management, preventative maintenance. We budget annually for our PMS, revenue management tools, access control, smart unit platforms. Those are items that save labor, reduce risk, and increase efficiencies for our managers. So they're not just expenses, they're ROI items. Marketing, that's digital spend, including your pay-per-click ads, local SEO, reputation management, and on-site marketing, signage, banners, community engagements, things that directly impact rental flow. And then your asset management, preventative maintenance. And sometimes these are items that are missed, keeping up those large dollar items, right? So making sure there's a clear line for recurring CapEx, HVACs, gate systems, roof upkeep, lighting, resurfacing. Your
Come on,
parking
man,
lot.
you're overwhelming me. There's so much there, right? There's so much there. And I think that's your point, is that you have to be comprehensive. But yet there's going to be some emphasis going into next year. I'm going to come back to you because out of all of what you just talked to, Robbie, I'm going to come back to you and ask you what are the ones that are getting most of your attention. But Rick, coming over to you, right? What do you take into account when you're looking, if you look at Robbie's list, which was comprehensive, what are you tuned into when you're thinking about adding or removing money in those different budget items?
I think Robbie did a great job. I mean, those are all things that every one of us have to take into account. You know, at the end of the day, it may be a numbers decision, or we may want to maximize the dollars and cents. But for us, similarly, there's some lenses we look at as far as how does it affect the customer? How does it affect our staff? And does this keep us competitive out in the industry? And so those are kind of our drivers to hit that long list that Robbie discussed. And every year looks different. And I think you have to take the due diligence, take the time to do due diligence and go line by line and review.
Well, along those lines, Vanessa, why don't you keep us going? What are you, on your side, through your eyes, what are you looking to increase or decrease? What are those, how do you make those determinations of what goes up and down?
That's a great question, Mark. Well, first we start off, like to capitalize on what Rick and Robbie are saying, the buckets are the same, right? We always look at those buckets siloed. But what we do at Devon is we take that to another tier. While we're building our budget silo, we then take it and bring it together as a team and say, where can we shift and ebb and flow so that we're not just driving costs in the budget, but we're expanding and driving revenue through our budget, right? There's going to be those static costs, similar to what Robbie and Rick were saying, but is there opportunity to look at the business strategy, expand on it, lay it over our budget, and then really dive in so you aren't overspending. For example, when you have your variable items, they can get very expensive. Your add-ons, your digital budget can get expensive. So putting the appropriate parameters to align with the budget, whether to save or expand in those areas, has really been beneficial for us. So eliminating the silos and just overlaying that, so you're looking at it from your business strategy perspective and your cost savings, so that you can drive revenue. So that balance has been very incremental for us and very strategic for us.
Got you. Robbie, come back to you, give you a chance to respond. So you gave us that kind of opening, all the different budgets. Just in a few sentences, as you're looking, how do you determine what are those key considerations for adding or removing either expenses or investments in areas that you guys are thinking about?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think we're looking at decreasing or increasing expenses. We don't look at it from that. We look to optimize them, right? So the goal isn't to spend less, it's to spend smarter. If a dollar spent today saves down the road, or drives top line growth, that's a good expense for us. So we're just trying to tighten up in those areas, and things that don't produce ROI, we look at cutting. So,
okay, gotcha. All right, well let's head over to you, Vanessa. For now, I want you to kind of speak. You guys have well over a couple hundred, 205 properties or something like that. And
yes.
Devon, you being at Devon, obviously you're in the marketing capacity. You have a pretty good pulse of what's going on nationwide, right? So talk about some of the key trends that you and Devon are seeing that are going to really be shaping much of what you guys do for next year. I know it's a big question and there's micro markets, but nationwide, what are you seeing as some of those key trends?
Yeah, so nationwide is some of the key trends that we're seeing from a marketing perspective and it's a shift from last year, right? And even last year, the market, we started to see less leads and more saturation. So what we're starting to see is there's more spending taking place with the REITs. And so property management companies as Devon Self Storage, and that large operator, still privately owned, all the way down because we third party managed for even individual locations, right? So in those markets, the trends we're seeing is that we have to balance and be more efficient with our spend, right? So implementing a lot of technology to help with that efficiency, to capture maybe areas that the human eye might not be able to catch. Implement tools like StorageDefender to implement smart units, right? Focusing on the customer, what the customer wants, has been a big shift versus just attributions that we're sharing. We want to give them what they're saying. So seeing that in our customer journey and understanding that has allowed us to refine, focus on the customer, which in turn has allowed us to optimize our spend and use it more efficiently. So that's where building the budget and overlaying that business strategy with the budget has made a super, super large impact for us. A very big impact.
I really love that because I think of, again, the demand study, and I just kind of keep going back. Like there was like a lot of anchor points for me, but again, like there was a little bit of a, I don't know if it's surprise or delight. Maybe it was concern. Now it's, delight. I don't know. But with the younger generation, especially keen on Gen Z, right? They're visiting more.
Yes.
And they value this storage experience. There's things that they're willing to pay for, like you mentioned, StorageDefender, smart units, 24/7 convenient access, more of that tech savvy. And so the idea is, instead of just attribution, keying in, like you said, on that customer journey, and then actually being able to like create value and monetizing, that to me was very loud in that demand study. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a key. The demand study thing too is they're not just studying historical behavior, but they're capturing what they think is going to be a like audience that's coming forward. So that's where we're seeing that younger generation and where we need to shift to gain those customers. And it doesn't, like Robbie says, it doesn't take more money. It just takes to use your money smarter, right?
I like that.
I look at it as, and that was a great point, I look at it as, if we don't use our money smarter, then we're just going to overspend. And I think that's the key for especially for Devon Self Storage, with 200 locations, we individually budget for each property, not just as a portfolio, and then overlay what does it look like as a portfolio for the budget. So looking at it from multiple lenses to maximize and optimize the budgets without overspending.
More, you really grown the corporate ranks. You're telling people, I guess, they need to work smarter, not harder.
I tell myself that every day. That's all I can be accountable
Love it. Love it.
All right, let's go on. Let's move to technology and like some of those investment trade-offs. Rick, I'm going to start with you on this one. Why is it crucial for self-storage facilities to consider investments, for example, smart technology, AI, other kinds of automation like smart unit access, smart access, chatbots? Again, as you're looking at your 2025 planning, 2026 planning, as you're taking inventory, why is that so important? You want to comment on that?
Yeah, I think a couple words that have shown a trend here is optimizing and efficiency, and I think technology is going to continue to do that for us. We were a former SiteLink user. 2025 for us was changing to storage. For various reasons, we thought that was a better go forward for us. So that's a practical example of what is your software doing for you, whether you have one store or tens of stores like Robbie and I, or Vanessa with hundreds of stores. I think smart technologies, we're a partner with StorageDefender, and we love that relationship. When we looked at that, and you guys already hit it, the demand study has shown increase in that area of spend. And so why would we not meet that as a company and as a customer experience? And so we've done that in 2025 and look forward to growing that in 2026. AI is here to stay. I think everyone has a different end goal of what that might mean for their business. It's out there in chat, it's out there in various services, and we're seeing traction there. AI is still learning, and we're still learning how we want to use it in the business. But I think educating ourselves and testing and talking like this is going to be important for us going forward. And automation, really, we look at our managers and they do a lot. And so automating some of those things is not meant to replace them. It's meant to give them time back.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
And
And so,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay. So for us, all of the above, technology is going to continue to be more and more important. With pricing challenge that we all face, I'm very encouraged, and I think our future is bright in self-storage. It is a strong asset class, and we have a long runway. So I think it's going to be on us to continue to talk as a group, to show up at our local and state and national shows, talk to vendors, look at technologies, and I think to a degree we have to be willing to try it. And not everything's going to work.
Yep. Hey, Robbie, over to you. Go one level deeper. Again, we're hearing all this different technology. I'm a mom and pop. I'm sitting out here. I want to hear from you, Robbie. Like, when you're looking at this different technologies, like how do you determine I want to put with a given amount of money, using it smarter, as Vanessa said, like, how do you know whether to put it in, for example, websites, access technology, smart units? Like, how are you determining in your budgets where to put the money, where to put the chips, so to speak?
Yeah. So, I mean, we look at multiple things. So revenue per square foot, is this expense helping us grow rate per square foot? Either through pricing, occupancy, or add-on revenue? Is it giving us labor efficiency? Is it improving our conversions and retention of our customers? And then is it making our managers' jobs more efficient? So operational speed and accountability, our decisions and repairs happening faster, our vendors performing better. I think those are all things that you have to take into consideration when you're looking at implementing technology. I think Rick made some great points right there as well. I mean, it's no longer an option. Us as an industry, self-storage as an industry has notoriously been known for not being ahead of the tech, right? I think we've made a lot of strides here even in the last 5 years. But it's not an option anymore. So you're going to get left behind if you're not implementing and exploring the new tech that's out there on the market.
What are a couple of those tech areas that you're choosing to make investments in? Maybe 2 or 3 ideas there.
Yeah, so in the this year, 2025, I mean, we've changed our website, we've changed our PMS, we partnered with StorageDefender. We went from SiteLink as Rick did, from SiteLink to Storage. We partnered with an asset management tool, Siteware. We're now partnered with Siteware, using their Siteware platform and Service AX, which is a work order system to help us be more aligned with improvements and repair and maintenance items that need to happen across our property. And we've also partnered with PTI with their ProEdge smart lock system. And that one directly ties into making our customers, making that customer experience once they get on site a lot easier. But it also, in the same sense, makes our managers' job more efficient. They don't have to go out on the property anymore and do overlocks or reverse overlocks. They're able to focus time and attention where it matters the most, and that's out there marketing or closing leads, answering the phones, because we all know the REITs are doing it quickly. I mean, they're going straight to call centers. They've got more people right now than we're able to throw at it. So the quicker we can follow up on calls and leads that are coming into the office, the more probability we have that we're going to close those leads.
Got it. Vanessa, over to you. And I know we have a section on marketing, but weave it in as you'd like. Same question to you, like, how are you guys looking at specific investments, and maybe even dial in a little bit on the ROI metrics, the return on investment metrics or KPIs that you're using. to make those
Absolutely.
investments. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So we look at it from a three-prong. Again, we look at it like what is needed for a portfolio, and then we dial it down into what is needed for each property, right? So we look at it as operation, revenue, and marketing. So when speaking from the marketing perspective, which is, you know, the world I live in, websites are the number one number one must be working, must be the best that we can make it be. I look at websites instead of a website. I call it my lead generator, right? We drive everything back to the website. The website is where we drive the majority of our leads. So the website has to function as if we were standing in the store. So website is where we're going to invest a tremendous amount this year. And we look at it as you've got to build a strong foundation. So once your foundation is strong, similar to what Robbie and Rick were talking about, then you can start building on top of that and testing different technologies. And again, I'm not saying wait while you build the website, do it simultaneously. So for example, we're investing in this year is evolving our website, adding in smart features. We're getting ready to, work with you, Mark, on StorageDefender, because we're seeing our customers, right, evaluating the data and our customer demands. We're seeing that the customers are demanding for safer, smarter units, technology that can allow them to feel comfortable and feel and confident that their belongings, their valuables are stored and aren't going to be impacted. And then how we take that after we look at a software or a tool or resource of technology, we look at it and we have to measure the data, right? We have to measure the ROI on it. So compiling all the data, whether is it driving revenue? How long is it going to take us to regain back the spend, right? So if we have upfront costs, how much impact do we need on our bottom line budget to cover that cost while we're regaining the revenue from that? So really looking at it from multiple arms. So it's like, for example, if we have a technology piece that's an impact on our customers, and it's an offset item where they're paying for that upgrade, that's a revenue driver for us that helps us regain that upfront cost. So the investment, looking at the investment, the outcome of the investment into that technology platform, and then spreading that out over 2026 and how we gain that revenue back.
Got you.
Tracking the KPIs on what we're utilizing.
Yeah, it's not what I'm getting out of this, and you're not just going after shiny coins and expecting a return like, hey, if I buy it, if I add it, it will come, just because others say you guys are watching those metrics closely.
Yes.
Robbie, I want to swing back to you. We talked about it a bit in prep, right? What are some of those key metrics that you're looking for? Like I kind of talked about ROI, but like, I don't know if it's like, how do you monetize? How are you, whether it be, so what are the different ways you're saving or making more money?
Yeah, I actually think I just probably mentioned those too. Like, right, we're looking at revenue per square foot, labor efficiency, conversion and retention, operational speed and accountability. I
remember
not everything's going to have a quantifiable.
I remember you talking, Robbie, about other ways of creating like incremental revenue. And I also remember you talking about things like labor efficiencies. Those are the things I remember. Maybe you can add some color to those.
Yeah. So, like Vanessa and Rick, we're partnered with StorageDefender. We also partner with PTI for our Pro Edge, but we pass on some of those expenses to our customers, right? So we know that customers are willing to pay more for security and convenience, and those two items offer both of those, but they're also passing on efficiencies to our managers. So we charge tech fees, safety and security fees, whatever you so choose to call them, right? I mean, there's a lot of companies are going to call them different things, and we try to venture away from calling them fees. But technology fees, if you so choose, that's giving people access to the gate with their cell phone. That's letting them access their unit with their cell phone. They can share digital keys through their cell phone. All they got to do is do it through the app. Smart technology, StorageDefender, right? So passing that on, it's a $12, but maybe you just assume that and you don't give them the option, because we know that customers are willing to pay more for safety and security. right? So why not? Heck yeah, I'll pay an extra $15, $16 so I can get real-time alerts should there be any motion detected in my unit. So making those decisions and passing them on to the customers, especially right now with rates the way they are in certain markets. And then also with those items, we're saving our managers time, right? You might not need 2 full-timers at a lease up with 800, 900 units. Maybe you need a full-timer and a part-time to get that done, but it's making our managers' jobs more efficient. Or maybe they stay at 2 full-timers and they're able to follow up on leads a lot faster and get out into the local market and, get boots on the ground, pass out branded flyers and create relationships. So those are kind of some of the things that we look at.
Okay, great. Hey, Rick, real quick. Like we're talking about a lot of stuff, right? We're going to get into operations next, but just being real, like what are some of those tough decisions that, are getting airtime that you've had to make, you're wrestling with, that you're looking to potentially have to make in 2026? Like, what are the tough ones? Not the easy ones. What are some of those tough ones that you're looking at going into 2026?
Yeah. I mean, I think as the display shows there, I mean, I'll just zero in on that 10%. It is in the technology space for us. 2025, we changed out our PMS software. We partnered with StorageDefender. 2026 is more partnership. Website is a huge deal for us. I think data has been a theme for the last 2-3-ish years. The more data we can have and get it in one place and make informed decisions. I think Robbie had mentioned, I think self-storage has been a little bit behind in those areas, and that's what's been exciting about the last 3 years specifically is we're seeing more disruptors. And so taking data that may be siloed in systems, and for us, one of the things we're trying to focus on in 2026 is how do we get all that data in one spot to be able to make better decisions quicker. So technology and website, I think, are going to be pretty big drivers for us on conversion.
A big focus coming into this year. Okay, got it. Or next year. All right, let's move on to the next section. Let's move into operations, cost control, and efficiency. And Vanessa, I think I'm going to come to you on this one. How are the tools improved, and even your expectations on improvement in operational efficiency, meaning decreasing costs, maybe optimizing staff? Can you share some maybe specific examples that maybe you had this year, but you're definitely looking at for next year as you guys are budgeting and planning?
Yeah, great question. This one's actually a really fun question for me because it brings that, three-legged tool together: your revenue, your operations, and your marketing. So for us, we are looking into investing into being more efficient with our call center. So utilizing an AI tool that is allowing to take some of that those service calls and answer those for our customers, allowing our call center reps to focus just on leads. And then evolving that, our goal would be someday to bring our call center in-house. So that's a focus for us in 2026. So still carrying that over, but utilizing more AI and large language models to support the call center team members. But again, back to the website, if you recall saying at the beginning, the website is our lead generator, right? It's where our customers convert. We want them to convert quickly. We want them to get the answers they need, the information they need quickly. So really being efficient and understanding the data behind the website, where our customers are looking, where they fall off on the website, and then setting money aside to do some A and B testing so that we're always meeting the expectations of the customers, so they can quickly rent and move into their unit. Right now, we allow our customers a rentless process. A rentless process. No, you don't have to rent.
That's not a good business model.
I said all backwards. A contactless. Let's try that. A contactless renting process. I put that all together. And then, being more efficient with our customers and our team members at the counter, giving them the tools they need, utilizing technology to help them sell through the process, I'm not sure if you guys have seen our website, but we allow the sales of merchandise through our website. So our customer, whether they're on the website renting or they're at the counter, the efficiency is seamless and flows through on both avenues. And then we provide them that one-stop location. Either your merchandise is in the unit for you if you buy online, or we provide it for you at the counter. So technology has allowed us to be more efficient, and we plan on expanding and evolving that for 2020.
I got a question for you. I'm going to ask all three of you. Okay, so this is a good slide, right? This is kind of, if you will, what we might call an omni-channel slide, right?
Yes.
People can, it's not a rentless model. In our rent model, you can rent through the website. They can rent through your call center agents, whether, there's different ways of doing that, or at the counter. My question to you, I'll start back to you, Vanessa, is you have a fixed amount of budget. How are you guys looking to allocate your budget in 2026 across those three?
In the order that you have them, we are going to be implementing an evolved website, so upgrading multiple features to meet the user experience, investing in our call center, and then investing in our team members, right? They're the front line, the face of the company. So ensuring that we're training them up, challenging them to evolve their skills, and supporting our customers, because at the end of the day, it's about our customers and our owners who've invested in this business.
Robbie, yourself.
Yeah, I've said it quite a few times, right? So how can we make our customers...
How would you allocate over the three, though? Just so it sticks in people's mind. How are you guys allocating over the three?
Yeah, I can't veer off much from what Vanessa just said, right? Website, call center, and our virtual model really is going to be key. But how can we make our customers' journey more frictionless and make our managers' jobs more efficient? And all of that, right, especially right now in today's digital age, does that. Website, call center. People are, one of the things I wanted to say too, Vanessa said rentless, no, contactless, right?
I'm never going to live it down.
You're not going to live that down.
Contactless. I still see when I'm looking at competitors, sometimes I still see operators, sometimes mom and pops that don't have websites and that don't have the ability to rent online. It's time to change that. Get it done, because people are looking for you online, and if they don't have a good digital front door to go through, they're going to rent elsewhere, and most of the time the REITs, larger operators, are going to get those rentals. So
my way of saying that is, if you're in elementary school, it's time to go to middle school. If you're in middle school, it's time to go into high school, and it goes on. Get a PhD if you need to compete with the REITs. Okay.
Yeah, make those investments.
Yep. And you have to invest in your education. You have to invest in your marketing, your website, and all this. Rick, out of these three, how are you guys emphasizing your investments going into 2023?
We're 3 for 3. I mean, what Vanessa lined out, I mean, we're tracking very, very similarly.
Okay. Robbie, I want to come back to you, a unique perspective, right? Robbie, you used to work at an organization that had 600 plus properties. Now you're down to, when you joined, it didn't even have 10. It had 6 or 7. You're at 10. You're growing fast. But you get kind of both perspectives. Talk to me, great. You guys are talking as maybe mid to big, but talk back to yourself as if you had, what have you learned the difference between I am an operator of many properties answering these questions, and I am now an owner of a much smaller enterprise. What's the difference in your perspective there?
Yeah, not a huge change in the whole process, right? So I've actually taken a lot of things that I learned at my 8.5 years from Sam, and many budget processes that I've been a key integral part in, and brought them over with me to First Storage for Volta, right? I mean, we're a smaller operator right now. There's less people involved. At Sam, it was almost like a 3-legged stool, right? You had you had us, or a 2-legged stool, right? You had us and and the owner, right? So we wouldn't get to finish it. Now we can get to the finish line a lot quicker, right? There's not as many people involved in making those decisions, but We're making data-driven decisions. We're looking at things that can make our budgets more efficient, and it's exactly what we were doing at Sam as well. It's just a lot of us are wearing more hats than maybe at Sam. You had a lot more people involved.
Got it. All right. So, yeah, thanks for that perspective. I want to go into the marketing section, and Vanessa, we've covered a lot of this, so we don't have to go as in detail. But if we move to the marketing slide, please. Someone can move the marketing slide. Thank you. Okay. So, Vanessa, I'm going to change this question a little bit, right?
Yes.
Imagine that I am a small, I have 1 or 2 properties. I don't have 205 properties and all the access to all the funds and the biggest whatever, right? So I'm a mom and pop. How would you recommend with a minimal budget? What are some of the non-negotiable investments and budget decisions you would be talking to Joe Smith or Mary Brown out there? What would you advise them?
Great question. And this is my favorite question because I love, in my past, I've done small businesses to help them grow. So website is non-negotiable. And there are tools out there that you can balance the website. If you're a single entity up to 6 entities, I would say when you reach that, entity of 3 to 6, you need to start evolving the website, start looking at moving forward. But having a website that is a lead generator, any of us can have a website, right? But it has to be a lead generator. And what I mean by that is content that appeals to our customers and content that appeals to the Google algorithms, the search engines, what's taking place behind the scenes. So that's a non-negotiable. From there, allowing yourself to understand that advertising, that digital footprint, as Robbie and Rick were referring to, is extremely important, right? So remember, in person and digitally are how all of our customers are renting. So those are going to be 2 non-negotiables. And then, of course, always when you're looking at the full picture, do the things that are already free at your fingertips. That might cost time, but not necessarily hard dollars, which you have here, which is your social media, your Google My Business profile, because that pushes out to a tremendous amount of listings, your SEO to evolve your content. And then, of course, when you get to your grassroots marketing, be efficient, track it, understand who you're seeing, revisit it week over week, month over month, to be efficient and to understand, is it working, is it not working, or do you put that back into something else? So for me, that would be the order of category that we've tested and have had the most success.
Excellent and comprehensive. Robbie, same question for you. You're now Mary or Joe, and you got 1 or 2 properties and a limited marketing budget. What would your advice to them be?
Very, very, very similar. Looking at your list that you have up here, Mark, just take free avenues and throw it out, because those are no-brainers to me. Why not capitalize on that? You have nothing to spend money on, but non-negotiable is a website. You got to spend money on your website, and then people have to be able to find your website. So Google Ads. And then, that's where social media SEO comes in as well for your organic rankings and map listings and things like that. But then also what really can separate some of the small owners out there, small operators, apart from the REITs, because they can't do it as well and as efficiently as that grassroots marketing. So spend money on signage, flyers, mailers, and get out there into the local community. Get campaigns going with those apartment rental communities, right? Hey, a referral campaign. Hey, I'll give you $50 for every rental you send my way. Those are valuable relationships that at the scale the REITs are at, they can't leverage as well as the small operators are going to be able to leverage.
Yeah, still what you guys are both saying is to be hyper locally focused, win the battle in the 3 to 5 mile. Don't worry about following the rules of the big guys. Rick, what would you like to add to that? Your advice to a mom and pop, Mary or Joe?
I'm going to expand on what Robbie just hit and Vanessa already laid out for us. It is absolutely website. Robbie shared who they're using. Storable is big in that game. And I think what excites me is the disruptors that are coming up. There are a number of them that do a great job. To Vanessa's point, mobile is going to continue to climb. We're getting more and more rentals mobile versus over the phone or in person. AI is going to be the next piece of that with search AI overlay. And we want to make sure we're staying relevant with that. So get out there and check website providers. And to Vanessa's point, it's all about that conversion. So you want that information. You want to be able to see it and track it and be able to adjust those things. And if you don't have the abilities to do that, I would consider, looking for a different partner. And then lastly, I'm just going to expand on 4 grassroots. I mean, I think that is the secret sauce. Coast to coast, regardless of one property or hundreds. If you're able to do that, that's where it's at. So get into your chambers, get into your schools, get into the athletic programs, be sponsors in your local community. I'll leave it there. I mean, I think those are huge.
Yeah. And one thing that you mentioned that it's not on this slide, but Freeport asked a little bit ago, sorry, I didn't see the question sooner, but it fits right here is, and I don't want to have a long section on it because we're going to get into some rapid fire, but maybe start with you, Vanessa. What's been the impact up or down of using chatbots on your website? Where does that sit in terms of importance and what a mom and pop should do, for example?
Yeah, great question. We use Swivel as our chatbot partnership, and it has made a significant impact in a positive. It's allowed us to take those service calls and answer them. It's allowed us to drive more conversions because the chatbot is the use of AI and large language model build out has been able to help our customers find the right storage unit size for them. And as well as it's also helped us increase a positive on our collections because it sends a link right to our customers when they need to pay, or if they're having trouble with their pay link, it helps them answer that. And then lastly, the other big one is it has helped our customers retrieve their gate codes. So that's been a big thing. Customers get excited and they're, I can't remember where I found my gate code or where it was at. They can go right to the chat bot and it provides that for them instantly.
So if I'm sorry, I'm going to put you on the spot on this, right?
Go for
it. I've got some elementary school website, whatever that is, right? And now I've heard this webinar and I want to go upgrade to a high school website. It's going to cost, I have a setup fee, whatever. Do I go that way, given a certain amount of money, or do I take my elementary school website, integrate a chat bot? Let's just say that, or maybe there's another strategy there, but yeah, where would you go, left or right on that?
I would integrate my chatbot now because it's a customer service support system in the fashion that it is able to answer your questions while you're simultaneously evolving your website to that growth point.
Okay, good. All right, guys, we're going to start closing here with some rapid fire questions. Before I do, was there anything that you felt we didn't cover here that you just guys want to put a quick highlight or market to with a sentence or two? Anything that we missed that we didn't talk about? Rick, let's go back to you. Anything we missed?
Yeah, on that previous topic with chat, I would just say we did that a couple years ago, and we were shocked on we didn't have chat, and we were absolutely shocked on the engagement that we were missing out on.
Okay.
And we've switched providers a couple times. Swivel is a great one, and that's who we also use today. So just going back to that, you may be missing a lot of interaction that you had no idea exists. Secondly, to the rapid fire question, I would say another area that we're focused on that we didn't maybe hit on is dynamic routing, good, better, best modeling, and being smarter in that area. And so into our 2026 budgeting, that is an area that we are reviewing and figuring out.
Got it. Robbie, up to you. Anything that you felt like we didn't cover or you want to just put an exclamation point on? You're on mute, Robbie.
Apologies. Didn't know I muted myself there. So yeah, no, I just tell everyone to make sure that you have an accurate starting point. A lot of times you're working on budgets in October, September, maybe is when the process starts. Maybe for smaller operators, it's November, December. But make sure you have an accurate starting point and not projected numbers, because that really is going to make a difference for your revenue. True up those numbers, and then also don't just make it a once a year exercise. We treat ours like a scoreboard. We're constantly going back every single month and looking at how we perform to budget. We're having conversations about it, and don't build it alone. Let your managers be involved in the process so you get their buy-in on it, right? So let them help build the expenses, and make sure they know what they're
good one.
budget is.
Good one. Again, rapid fire. Let's go quick. Vanessa, again, something you feel we missed or you want to put an exclamation point on?
Only thing that I would add to what Rick and Bobby, I renamed you. Robbie said, I'm really good at renaming today. Okay.
I had another name I was going to call him, but I haven't.
You do that. You can say that offline.
Yeah, just making sure we're all paying attention. For me, I would say always check your spend versus your budget, right? So what are your actuals versus your budget every month? Going back and revisiting your budget to add on to that, right? So don't just say, here's my budget and not understand what your spends are month over month. That way you can make your adjustments, and things change throughout the year. There could be urgencies that need to take place. So always be sure that you're looking at those month over month.
This is a hell of a disciplined group. I appreciate hearing this. By the way, this is also good advice for our home budgets too. All right, let's move to another rapid fire question. Keep it with you, Vanessa. Need you guys to think in one sentence each. I'm going to cut you guys off if you go longer because we're going quick here. Right? One sentence each. What was your investment theme, would you say, for 2025? What do you believe your investment theme for 2026? Vanessa.
Our investment theme for 2025 was growing the foundation that we'd already had built, which meaning leveraging the aspects of technology and building on that, and then also understanding the user experience and building on that. 2026, we've taken that and evolved it to now we're implementing those action items that impact our customer journey for conversions. So looking at adding in more technology for efficiencies, smart technology for efficiencies, and really leveraging AI in our database evolution for that.
Perfect.
So
yep, perfect. Great.
On to you, Robbie.
Good, Robbie.
Yeah, so same 2025, same thing is going to be 2026. Create less friction for our customer journey and make our managers' job more efficient. I think I've mentioned it. We changed this year. Two big changes was we changed website providers, which we feel is going to lead to a less frictionless or a frictionless experience online for our customers. We're on a one-page checkout now, which is pretty awesome. They don't have to bounce from one page to the other. We're going to decrease bounce rates there. And then we changed PMS providers. Next year, 2026, we're really going to be focused on our virtual model and dialing that in.
Got it. And Rick, 2025, 2026.
Yeah, similar to Robbie, we just came off the software value-added services partnerships with StorageDefender. 2026 is growing that and continuing on the website, continuing on data, and ultimately efficiencies.
Okay. And then my last question is, and we talked about this, and this is what we said at the beginning. I hope you guys hung out, especially Joe Smith and Jane Brown. I think I have those names right. In other words, your mom and pops, your smaller operators. I want to ask you guys in a single sentence, what is the non-negotiable step an operator owner must take during their 2026 budget process that you believe they should, again, not 205 properties, not 26 properties, and not 10 going to 20 properties, but 1 or 2 properties. What is that one non-negotiable step in the process that you want to make sure they hear from you that you would recommend? I'll go to Vanessa, you.
Non-negotiable is website. Plain and simple. You've heard it throughout our whole chat here is website, and then comparing your spend versus your budget.
Okay, Rick.
Line by line, asking tough questions. Does that fit into customer experience? How does that impact our team? And are we staying competitive? I think it's just, you have to do that. That's my answer.
Robbie?
Yeah, use real numbers, true up your data, stop budgeting off gut feel. When your budget is built from the ground up, profitability takes care of itself. And if you're not always looking to enhance your operations with new tech, you're going to get left behind. So,
Yeah, and I'm going to add my own answer to this, and that is, by the default of the question, you don't have big staffs. You don't have a lot of people. For you, Joe and Mary, you need to be really leveraging partnerships. Partnerships with other property management companies, partnerships with your tech partners like us, reaching out to and making friends with Vanessa to talk about marketing strategies. All of this panel is here because they're willing to share partnerships, right? Partnerships is going to get you access to more information so that you don't have to make mistakes that, you might make without their knowledge. So that would be my message. That's it, folks. I don't know if there's any other questions, but it's great to see you, Iris.
Can I add one thing to that, Mark? So
Please.
The storage industry is a great industry. A lot of operators and owners are willing to share. Go to your local trade shows, ask the questions, get on these webinars for SBOA, learn, and ask the questions, and everybody's willing to help everybody. So that's a good point, Mark. I just wanted to add to that.
That's what I thought you guys were going to say. I was anticipating, and I'm like, I like the way you said it better, but that's what SBOA is about. It's the fabric of SBOA. If you're attending this, already you get bonus points, right? Because what you're trying to do is capitalize on being a VIP member at SBOA, and then them bringing this excellent content to hopefully you guys have learned one good thing that you can try from one of these guys that you didn't have before. And that's leveraging the community. So Iris, good time back. I just want to bring you back in, see what you have to say.
Thank you. Yeah, we did have one question I don't think got answered from Freeport. Has the panel experimented with Google local service ads? And if so, what was your ROI?
Yes, we use that on every single property. The ROI it all depends. There's so many factors. Our return on investment has been positive. There's a lot of factors in the back end to implement those campaigns, manage the campaigns, and constantly manage the content. And then understand what your customers are looking for, right? So don't just set your campaigns. You always want to manage them so you're managing to budget and managing to expectation. So we've actually, in doing that, have decreased our cost per click and our cost per campaigns. So we've had a positive ROI.
That's awesome.
Any other questions out there? Great question, Iris. I guess that was also from Freeport too. So
yeah, Freeport and Lindsay have been neck and neck here. And Michaela's going to come on in a second and let us know who won. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We could not do these great webinars without great panelists like yourselves. We could not do it without a great audience like we had today. And we could not do it without our sponsor, SBOA Insurance Services. So I want to thank everybody for contributing. And I hope you all have a great, wonderful day in front. Mark, I know you've got a really busy day today, so I super appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate this opportunity. Community, thank you for coming. You saw we got Rick's, Robbie's, Vanessa's, and Brooke put mine in. So any of us, if there's any questions you guys have, we're all available to do exactly what Robbie said, to share with you guys. So guys, take care. Have a great week and enjoy the rest of your 2026 budgeting.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. It was a blast.
And remember one more thing. On behalf of Vanessa and Devon, do not go for the rentless model.
Go contactless, not rentless.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, that was forever, Vanessa.
That's okay. I do things like that on purpose most times, but that one was truly by accident to see who's listening.
It was awesome. But you caught yourself. It's all right.
I knew exactly what you meant when you said it.
See, that's the crazy part. We all understood it.
Well,
all right, guys, take care. Hey, guys, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Okay, and I'm going to bring up Michaela. How are you today, Michaela? Oh, you're on mute.
Yep, there we go. Doing great. Iris, how are you?
I'm great. That was such a wonderful panel. So informative. I always appreciate our panelists because they just bring the knowledge.
Yes, 100%.
StorageDefender especially puts together great information. I do want to let the audience know that we're going to have that presentation that you saw today will be available. If you were a registrant, you'll get a link and you'll get the replay so you can watch again in case you missed anything. And you will also get a copy of that slideshow. So now, drum roll, please. We have a winner.
Well, we have a tie.
It's a tie.
It's a tie, Iris. So what do we do?
Report. Well, we'll just see who can get in the answer first. Should you go contactless or rentless? Report and Lindsay, whoever answers first is going to get that gift card. Contactless or rentless? Uh-oh, maybe they already logged off. Well, we're going to put up the info. We'll make sure that they both get a gift card. $20 for both of them. Please send your email to Mari at thesboa.com and put in subject line SSU winner, and she will get right back to you. Oh, Lindsay got up.
Lindsay
stayed on to the end. Well, Lindsay, please make sure that you let Mari know. Just send it to Mari at thesboa.com and subject line SSU winner, and she will set you up with that Starbucks. Thank you so much for contributing. And Michaela, before we take off, a couple of announcements. We have our next webinar set up, ready to go 2 weeks from today, October 23rd. Self-storage horror stories and how we survived them. That will be a special Halloween edition. So we're doing it at 3 p.m. Our panelists and myself and Michaela will all be in costume. So that'll be a fun time. Bring your horror stories. If you have some, put them in the chat. Send them to me in an email. Maybe we'll ask you to be a guest too. Iris at thesboa.com. We would love to hear those stories. And then the big news is November 19th. We have Storage Tech 2025. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, today and tomorrow are your last chance to get it for $25. We're going to have 11 speakers that day. Industry experts, all talking about the tech. You know, it's updated constantly. We know that people are budgeting for next year. That's why we had this webinar today. It's also why we do our Storage Tech Summits in November to help you plan for your next year. And what else do we have, Michaela? Am I missing anything?
Well, our team is going to be at the Texas Self-Storage Association Big Ideas in Storage Conference and Trade Show, October 29th through the 31st. We're going to be at booth 620 with the SBOA Insurance Services team. So make sure you stop by and say hello. Lots of fun things planned for that show.
Another big Halloween special, right? So good thing we're going to have to stock up on costumes this year. They're going to have a Halloween party. Texas puts on an amazing show. They're having a silent auction. We put in a pretty cool smoker. So you can bid on that. Bidding is already open. We have a link to that in our social media and in our newsletter if you get that. And we're just going to end today with a video once again from StorageDefender. Thanks everyone again for showing up. Thanks for asking your questions. And I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone.
The smart experience isn't just for your home. It belongs in your self-storage facility too. Today's tenants expect more than gates and cameras. They want real peace of mind, and so do you while growing your business. That's where StorageDefender comes in. As the pioneer and leader in smart units as a service, StorageDefender delivers 24/7 peace of mind with real-time text-based alerts. No apps or logins required. It's a simple solution that helps tenants feel secure and gives operators a new recurring revenue stream. With StorageDefender Smart Units, you can increase revenue by 10 to 20% per unit, attract 78% of tenants who look for smart monitoring in their next rentals, and across the U.S., 6 out of 10 tenants are opting in for smart unit monitoring. Don't just take it from us. Chris Z, a tenant from Campbellsville, Kentucky, says, "I have rented multiple storage units in different states, and this is the first time I've ever had a motion detector inside the unit. I think it's a great idea and definitely recommend it to anyone storing items. Setup is fast and hassle-free. Just place the magnetic-based smart device inside any unit. No hardwiring required. Manage everything from our intuitive dashboard, and when motion is detected, your tenant is instantly notified. It's smart, reliable visibility inside the unit where it matters most. When tenants feel protected and informed, they stay longer, speak highly of your business, and are more likely to rent again. Give your tenants what they value and gain more in return. Schedule a demo today and find peace of mind that profits.